Bonjour à tous. Hello, everyone. This is the last video you'll see from me. Very brief video about the exam coming up Monday. Very brief exam number 4, Monday during class time. And so what I'm doing is I'm just referencing the French 1002 Exam 4 Review document that's up on Georgia View in the content section. Okay? So as you see there, written exam due on Monday, April 20th by 2:55 p.m. as an email attachment to me at ncardi@daltonstate.edu. So hopefully this time when I email you with that attachment at 1:40, give or take a minute, this coming Monday, April 20th, it'll be the right attachment. It'll be the correct attachment this time, the first time. Okay, so why is this so easy? Because it's really just 3 things. One, what are some clothing items from the database, basically on page 454 and 455 in French? What are some clothing items that you would know the translations to in English and that you'd know the gender of, since everything in French is masculine or feminine? So as you see there in the study guide, les vêtements, our word for clothing. Know all clothing terms, meaning and gender from page 454 and 455. Know also these two sections, these two categories that are on page 455 where you learn about what the clothes are made of. Are they made of wool? Are they made of cotton? Are they made of silk? And you're just reviewing those and you're remembering that when you talk about an item of clothing, une chemise made of cotton, you would say une chemise en coton. So en is the right preposition there, and you'll see that as you look in that box on page 455. And then the accessoire, a word meaning accessories, so the word for tie, for example, une cravate, scarf, un foulard, une écharpe, and then a decorative scarf, un foulard. So just review those terms, and as you see on the study guide there, a polka dotted tie, you would say une cravate à pois. A striped blouse, you'd say un chemise à rayures, or un chemise rayée. The difference between à rayures and rayée is just with stripes versus striped, same thing. What about the future tense? Why is that so easy? Because that is all about, you're looking at pages 514 and 515 and realizing that we're only talking about the verbs that you see there on the study guide. Let's talk about the regular ones first. Parler, porter. Remember, porter is the only new verb for us, to wear, P-O-R-T-E-R, to wear. Chanter, travailler, and visiter. All of these regular verbs you'll want to know in the future tense. And it is so easy because, take parler, for example. As you see there on page 514, it's a question of taking the whole verb, the whole thing, and just adding the appropriate avoir ending that agrees with the subject. So if I wanted to say, I will speak, I would say, je parlerai. It's the regular stem and an avoir ending. Now realize too, you want to also learn 3 verbs in the future that are irregular: avoir, to have, être, to be, and aller, to go. But you just look on the green box there on page 515, and you see that even for an irregular verb, while it's slightly more difficult, it's still easy because we're trying to learn 3 verbs, not 13 or 33, just to have, to be, and to go. So if it were to have, I wouldn't say avoir with the avoir ending. I would say or with the avoir ending that agrees with a certain subject. So if I wanted to say we will have, I would say nous aurons. You see? Okay, so the ones I give you here, the examples in the study guide: j'irai à Paris au futur. I will go to Paris in the future. Je travaillerai pour Microsoft avant mon 30e anniversaire. I will work for Microsoft before my 30th birthday. Now, what about the cultural section? This time it's on Switzerland. So you look over there on page 540 and 541, and no surprise, I'll just ask you a few probably true-false questions about Switzerland. This little country in the middle of Europe that is ironic. It's ironic that it's been independent through 2 world wars, and it's not part of the European Union, and they don't use euros, they use Swiss francs. But it's a very important country, and you're just looking over those 2 pages there, 540 and 541, and seeing things like, for example, on page 540, 60% of the whole land mass is covered by the Alps, the mountain range, the Alps, as you see there. Les Alpes occupent 60% du territoire. And you look down at the bottom of that page and you see what they tell you there, that in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, and we'll talk about the languages in just a second, in the Swiss-speaking part of Switzerland, you see that la ville principale de la Suisse française, c'est Genève. So even though you don't understand every word in these cultural descriptions, you kind of get by context what the sentences mean. And of course here it means that the principal city is Geneva, very important city historically in diplomacy. It's why, for example, Switzerland is really, well, it's important in diplomacy was Geneva, and the French languages had been important in diplomacy through centuries too. It's why you can't go to work for the UN even still today unless you speak French. French has been the diplomatic language of the world historically. All right, on the next page, 541, you see they give you a recipe there for la fondue suisse. Fondue, it's just a Swiss term, it's a French term that means melted. And so I would just know that fondue is a nice French dish. A Swiss dish, it's also eaten in France, originating from the Swiss version. And you see there, finally on page 541, a couple of indications about the population of Switzerland. 6,500,000 people live in this small country, but look how the languages differ. The majority of people speak German. As you see there, 65% of the population speak German. Only 18% of the people speak French, although it's still an important language. 10% of the people actually speak Italian. And then the only language that's not sort of another nationality's language is something called Romanche. Ironically, for me at least, only 1% of the population speak it. So that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen, for the written part. No clothing items, no their gender, no a few verbs in the future tense that you could write into blanks that I give you in those verb pool sections. And for Switzerland, La Suisse, just review pages 540 and 541. Now, what about this oral exam? As you see on the study guide there, the oral exam due as an uploaded video to our YouTube page. This is due on Monday, April 20th by midnight. Okay, same day as the written test this time, but by midnight. And the oral exam requires you to reference yourself, someone else, or even someone from the photo to stage your own informal fashion show. And you'll note that on our webpage now, or on our YouTube page rather, I have myself doing a version of this. So you draw on clothing, vocabulary from chapter 11, pages 554 and 546. You know the database of clothing items to explain what your model is wearing. And as you see me do in the video on our YouTube page, use verbs such as tourner and aller in directions such as to the left, à gauche, à droite, to the right, and tout droit, straight ahead, to move your model around the room. And I say there, also mention at least 5 times items of clothing or accessories that the model is wearing. I mean, just think about it. Head to toe, what would you say? What items of clothes would you mention where at least you're mentioning 5? I think I mentioned about 7 in my video. And at least twice, note the color and material of the items. So the sample sentence I give you there in the study guide, Elle porte une robe rouge en coton. Color is red, rouge. What's it made of? Cotton. This dress she's wearing. I would say about myself today, I would say, je porte une chemise. In fact, I would probably be specific and say, je porte un polo bleu à manches courtes en coton. Short sleeve polo type shirt that's blue, made of cotton. I tell you there to draw, finally from the study guide, I tell you there to draw also on number 1, the 2 resources on our Georgia View page, Clothes Vocabulary in French, parts 1 and 2. Those are Alexa videos, and they're just excellent for pronunciation practice and additional vocabulary, but also as well as our vocabulary. And also number 2, look at my own French fashion role play out on our page. I think it's cool. Hey, that's it. That's the last you'll hear from me by way of a video, but I'll look forward to getting your written responses to this exam I'm going to send you this coming Monday, April 20th. I'm going to send that to you at 1:40 p.m. And I'll look forward to getting your responses by the end of class, 2:55, and so look forward to your oral exam role plays on our YouTube page by midnight that night. Au revoir, à bientôt.